Hey everyone, what's up? It's Macy, and when I was 13, I was investigated by the FBI. Yes, me. So this is a story that I kind of have forgotten about for a really long time. It traumatized me as a 13-year-old girl, but now I kind of just don't care. So I'm going to be telling that story today. So before the investigation, let's go back about 10 years ago when MySpace was still a really big thing. MySpace was, you know, Twitter, the Instagram, the Facebook, everything at once on one social media platform. MySpace was the fucking shit. So I wasn't allowed to have a MySpace. When it first came out, all my friends had it. I wasn't allowed to have one. So for some reason, I was allowed to be on my friends' MySpaces. So I put two and two together and I was like, why don't I just make a MySpace that doesn't have any pictures of me and I say that it's my friend? So that's exactly what I did. My parents didn't think anything of it. They didn't think it was mine. So I made a fake MySpace. All my friends at the time still loved the Jonas Brothers. So what I did was I made my name Miss Jonas. I had only Jonas pictures. So when my parents were like, oh, who's MySpace are on? I'm like, oh, it's just my friends. You know, not a big deal because everyone loved the Jonas Brothers. It didn't have any pictures of me and I don't know why that was okay, but I couldn't have my own. I have no idea. So anyway, I had this MySpace. The name was Miss Jonas. Still true. And it was just pictures of the Jonas Brothers. Since I did have pictures of the Jonas Brothers and sometimes my name would just be Jonas, Miss Jonas, Jonas Brothers lover type shit, I would get a lot of friend requests from celebrities. Miley Cyrus and Demi Lovato and Joe Jonas and Nick Jonas, Justin Bieber. So me being the naive 12-year-old that I was, I believed all of them were celebrities, so I added all of them. Just assumed that I was best friends with 4 different Demi Lovatos and all 4 of them were telling me the same thing, that they're Demi, and they're just all on different accounts, but it's Demi. It's a fucking celebrity. I was so freaking naive. My 13th birthday comes around, and what do I get for my birthday? A MySpace. But the only rule was my parents had to be there when they made my MySpace with me. So I'm making my MySpace with my mom. She has no idea that I've already had one. Anyway, I had to make a new one because she assumed this whole time I didn't actually have one. So I'm making my MySpace with my name, Marissa, Macy, whatever the fuck. And then I'm putting pictures of me up there. But I already had this MySpace before where I was friends with the celebrities, you know, and I still had my friends from school. I keep doing this because we all know they're not really celebrities, but I definitely believed it. So I made my new MySpace and I added all my friends there and they were so happy I would finally stop posting about the Jonas Brothers. We all know I'm 22 years old and I still haven't stopped posting about the Jonas Brothers. What am I gonna do with this MySpace that I'm not even technically allowed to have? Okay, obviously not all these people are celebrities, so they're trying to pretend to be celebrities, but they had a lot of friends and they were really popular and I was like, well, I can do that. But I didn't want to be a celebrity. Like I didn't want to be like a poser. I don't even know what we called them. I think we called them posers. I wanted to be me, but I didn't want to put my picture on there. Celebrities weren't going to be friends with 12-year-old Marissa and my face, but celebrities would have been friends with someone who had my name and a different face. So that's exactly what I did. I kept that page. I added all of my friends on my page that my parents made with me, but my Jonas page I turned into just Marissa, but it was a different picture of my face. So I was kind of like a catfish. Like I never claimed that was me. It was kind of just this like understanding on like this world of MySpace that everybody was saying they were someone they're not, and that's kind of okay. Like we're not trying to, like, it was before catfish was like a thing. Like we didn't try to meet up with each other or like talk on the phone. Like we knew we were all fake people. Like it was just before catfish time, like 10 years ago. But I had this picture. I probably changed it all the time. I honestly don't, I couldn't even tell you who it was. It was just some site model from like MySpace days. Remember site models? You probably can picture literally anybody as a picture. So I started messaging this guy, or he messaged me. We're gonna call this guy Tyler. I'm assuming one of us started having feelings for each other. He was claiming to be like the 17-year-old. I was 13 at the time. Honestly, I just assumed that maybe that was really him. I wanted it to be him, like, oh, I'm talking to a 17-year-old, like he's so cute. So him and I are messaging and then we're like, oh, we should text. He gives me his number and I start texting him. We start texting. It's a great time. Within like the 3 months of us texting, I came to Texas to visit some family and he claimed that he lived in Texas. He wanted to like see me and everything, and I was like, no, first of all, you think that I look like this other girl and I look like this, so we're not doing that. We would text all the time, like all the time. Like from the time I would wake up to the time I would go to bed, him and I would be texting all the time. And this was for a good 2 or 3 months straight. In May of 2010, this is where shit hits in the motherfucking fan, okay? So my grandma had passed away in May of 2010. I go to school for like a week. So the day that I go back to school, I get out of the car and I'm walking into the school. I'm in my hallway and I go to my locker and I went to put all my stuff up. Where's my phone? And I was a 13-year-old girl. Of course I had my phone on me every single second of the day, and I was like, where the hell is my phone? So I go to my first class and I call my mom because she was the one that dropped me off at school, and I was like, hey, did I leave my phone in the car? And she's like, yeah, I'll just bring it inside for you. I'm like, okay, cool. Didn't think anything of it. So I get home from school and I'm like, oh, where's my phone? And my parents were like, so we accidentally dropped it when we took it out of the car and it broke. So you don't have a phone right now. And you would have thought someone would have told me that I had 2 days left to live, because that's what it felt like, because I wouldn't be able to text Tyler because him and I talked all the freaking time, 24/7. And we actually had like conversations. I don't remember any of them except for one, which I'll get into later. So she tells me my phone is broken. So I log onto MySpace, onto the page that I'm not even supposed to have anymore. And I tell him, hey, my phone broke, so if you've been texting me, my parents had it this morning and now it's broken. And he's like, yeah, I've been texting you. I was wondering why you didn't text me back. I didn't think anything about my phone being broken. I was just like, oh, when am I gonna get it back? Do I need to help pay for it? And every time I brought it up, my parents were just like, you'll get it later. Like, we'll fix it later. Like, just focus on school right now. Just like, they didn't give me an answer. And I never broke my stuff. I'm very careful with all of my things. I don't break my phones. I don't break my cameras, my laptops, and watch me say that shit and something's gonna fucking break soon. But like, I am very responsible with my things. Now a few weeks go by, let's say like June-ish. Where is my camera? I got a camera for my 6th grade birthday party or my 5th grade birthday party because I love cameras. It was this pink camera. I was obsessed with it. I loved it so much and I hadn't seen it in a really long time. And I kept asking my parents and they were like, oh, I haven't seen it in a really long time. Okay, but like, where's my camera? Like, if I would have put it somewhere, it would have been where the last place that I put it. I don't lose my stuff. I took care of things that were expensive that meant a lot to me. Like, I could not find my camera. I would tear my house up all the time because I'm like, where's my camera? And after weeks of looking for it, I gave up. And I also had my computer in my room and I wasn't allowed to sleep with my door closed anymore. I had to keep it open, and it was very weird because I would sneak onto my computer when I'm supposed to be sleeping and I would talk to Tyler sometimes, and now I wasn't allowed to have my door shut. So I was like afraid to like go on my computer at night because someone could walk out and see me on the computer, and I wasn't supposed to be on the computer. I was supposed to be sleeping for school the next morning. So one day I come home from school and my dad is like, hey Marissa, can you like come in here? And I'm like, okay. So he's sitting at my computer in my room and he's like, so
do you want to tell me who Tyler is?
When I motherfucking tell you, I saw my body leave out of my body and just die. Like, and she didn't take me with her. Like, I just wanted to die in that moment. I know some of the conversations him and I had, and I was 13 years old talking to the 17-year-old. In my eyes, I didn't think my dad knew that. I just thought he knew. I was texting Tyler and that was it. So I was like, Tyler, like,
Who is Tyler?
Like, I met him on MySpace, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to get pregnant? Why this guy? Why are you talking about getting pregnant? Before you freak out, I had mentioned before that I eventually wanted kids and it would be cool to get pregnant, okay? When I was 13 years old and I was talking to Tyler. Me as a 22-year-old, never wants to get pregnant a day in my fucking life. But when I was 13, I thought, yeah, maybe one day I want to be a mom, I want to have kids. So I told him, and I'm assuming from the conversations we had, oh, I can get you pregnant. And I was 13 years old. So yes, my father had every right to react that way because I was 13 years old talking about getting pregnant, kind of ish. I didn't really say I wanted to get pregnant, but it kind of was like in that context. But anyway, so he's telling me that he knows about the conversations. He knows that he exists. He knows that this is a thing. So he told me that they went through my phone and my phone wasn't really broken and I will get it back soon. That's all he told me, and I just assumed that they went through my phone and they had it in their room this whole time and I just never found it. And we left it at that for a few months. I had lost all of my parents' trust, which I don't blame them, because I was 13 years old texting this guy about getting pregnant, kind of, and being in a relationship even though we weren't. And he was 17 and I was 13, so it looks like really bad, and it was just not good. And I lived up north. Luckily this guy lived in Texas, because that would have been really bad if he lived close to me. It was just a huge mess. It was terrifying, but it doesn't end there, okay? You would think it would be over now that my dad had to talk with me about it. Literally does not end there. Fast forward to a little bit after August. I know it was after August because I went to a Jonas Brothers concert in August, and then it was almost time for school to start again. I come home one day and my dad is like, you and your sister are gonna come with me and we're gonna go somewhere. And I'm like, okay, like didn't think anything of it. As soon as we get in the car, and things just feel a little weird. So we're driving and my dad goes, so Marissa, we're gonna go get your phone back today. What, like, did you fix it and you're gonna go take me to get a new one, or like what? And he was like, does your sister know what happened? And my sister's younger than me. Poor thing, was dragged into this. It could be a lesson for her. My dad brought her with us so she can learn a lesson. She had no idea about any of this before this happened. No, she doesn't know. And I'm bawling at this point because I'm like, where is he taking me? Like, what is going on? Like, I'm terrified. I thought we had this talk a few months ago, because I can't just like learn a lesson. Like, my dad has to do this. I'm from up north in a small town-ish in Indiana, right outside of Chicago, Illinois, okay? I lived in that town for 16 years. 16 years. You would think I would know any and everything around that area. So we drive to another town really close by, and there's just this building that I've never seen before, and my dad just parks like he's been there his entire life. He's just like, okay, let's go inside. We walk in, there's just like security walking around, men, and just scary looking men, and the walls are all white, and we just make this left corner, and my dad's like, hey, we're here to see, we're gonna call her Sarah, okay? We're here to see Sarah. And the guy's like, okay, right this way. And we go up in like this elevator thing, and we go up a few floors, and we enter into this lobby, and there's just a woman standing by the door with her arms crossed like this. And my dad's like, hey Sarah. Oh, my camera turned off. I just love that for me. She asked me, she was like, do you want to be in here by yourself, or do you want your dad and your sister in here? And I'm like, I want to be in here by my fucking self. I don't want to answer anything with them in here. Please kick them out. They leave, and it's just her and I. She was like, hey, I'm sure you're a little nervous. Let me tell you about myself. My name is Sarah. I've been working for the FBI for this many years. I don't know if you're familiar with this case, but I've worked on this case, and I'm not going to mention the case because I don't know if I'm allowed to say she worked on it. But that case was a very, very popular case in like the Chicagoland area when I was growing up. I'm sure any Chicagoans, if they hear that name, they will know exactly who it is. I'm not going to say it on here just out of respect for the family and just for her. I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I was like, oh shit, she's like a really fucking FBI agent. Like, she's like the real deal. She pulls out a packet like this big of papers that have MySpace comments on it and text messages and photos, and she's just like, so you want to like tell me like what happened, like who is this guy, how did you meet him? And it's literally any single comment him and I had on MySpace and every text message we ever had on my phone printed out, ever. Like, even the ones I deleted, anything that involved him and I was printed out on these papers. Who is this person who you were commenting? Who is this person? Who is this person? I need to name more people in the story. So it was me, it was Tyler, and then Tyler had a best friend. We're gonna call the best friend like Zach, okay? And then Zach had a girlfriend, and we'll call her like Leah. I don't really know. I don't remember their fake names. Zach and Leah were dating, and Tyler and I were whatever we were on MySpace and texting. I would talk to Leah and Zach a lot. So she's like, who is Zach? Why is he messaging you? Who is Leah? And I'm like, they're just like my friends. And then she was like, so they're friends with Tyler? I was like, yeah, they're friends with Tyler too. So she wanted to know like if Tyler and I had ever met up, if he ever wanted to meet up, if I ever sent him like photos of me. I was like, no, he doesn't know what I look like. He thinks that like I look like the girl that's on my MySpace, but that's like not me. I'm assuming that he looks like the picture that he's posting. And she's telling me, I'm sure you're really mad that your parents wanted to bring you in here, but I think it's really good that they wanted to bring you in here because I have something to tell you. Like, I was so young and so naive, I couldn't think anything situation being negative at all. Thinking back, I remember talking to him sometimes and being very uncomfortable, but I thought it was just because he was older than me and I didn't understand some of the things he would say to me, and realizing now that I should have never done that, but I was 13, I didn't know any better. She pulls out a photo of this family. It was a guy, it was a girl, pretty sure it was 2 kids. She told me that they traced the number back of the person I was texting, and it linked to the old man in the picture. This is the guy you have most likely been texting, and he's like bald and he's white and he looks like his name is like Jim and he's like a lawyer. All of them were wearing a white shirt and jeans. Like, I will never forget that photo of him. I can see him and the wife, and everything else around it is a blur because I saw him and I'm like, what the fuck? She told me that they went to him and they were in the process of questioning him to figure out who it was that I was texting, and they lived in Texas. She kind of really couldn't give me more information past that. That was just like such a blur. Literally every question she asked me before this, I can't remember, but the picture that she showed me, I can remember like it was nothing. Seeing that and seeing that that's the person I might have been texting like really freaked me out. Didn't use social media for a really long time because I just couldn't trust anybody. Now, like, I'm very aware of people that I meet on social media. So she told me that she was gonna follow up with me and let me know if it was that old man or not. She never did, so I'm assuming, this is my theory, the person that is in the photo with him was a young girl, like a daughter. And so I think she was doing the same thing that I was doing, but she was like pretending to be a boy. So she was like maybe 16 or 17 years old. That's what she looked like in the picture. So I'm assuming the reason why this guy's number was linked to him was because it was his daughter's phone. Her phone was under his name. That's what I want to think. I want to think that his daughter was doing what I was doing and she was pretending to be this guy and I was pretending to be this girl that I'm not, and that's who I was talking to and not the dad. But I never heard anything back from him. So I ended up getting my phone back that day. Got my camera back as well. There were no cracks on my phone. It was never broken. My parents saw that I was texting this guy because he was blowing my phone up, and they went through the messages because I was 13, they were paying for it. They were like, who the hell is she texting? And they were very concerned, so they called the FBI, and the FBI agent told me that as soon as they got that call that day while I was at school, the day that I left it in the car, they came to my house, they stripped my computer, they took my phone, they took my camera to see everything because my parents were so freaked out. I had no idea. And when I got my phone back, none of my messages were like deleted, and he did blow my phone up that day because I wasn't texting him back. He's like, where are you? I miss you. Do you not want to talk to me anymore? Blocked his number as soon as I got my phone back, deleted all our messages, and I never looked back. Like, I never wanted to talk to him again. So that's kind of where the story ends, but I have one little thing left. So remember Zach and Leah? Zach was Tyler's best friend and Leah was Zach's girlfriend. So Leah and I actually stayed friends for a long time after this. We actually met for the first time 2 years ago. We worked at Disney together, which is literally mind-blowing. And if she ever watches this video, you know who you are. I'm gonna tell the story right now. I'm not gonna say her name because she's actually friends with some of my friends from Texas because like we met, it was this crazy thing. Okay, so years ago when I first reconnected with her, because we were friends like on Facebook, like us, our actual Facebook, like, do you remember like Tyler? And she was like, yes. And I was like, so do you still talk to Zach? And she's like, girl, no, like that was like when I was like in middle school, like I don't really care. I haven't talked to Tyler either. And she was like, girl, I texted him one time to see how he was doing, and he was like, don't text this number, I've already been investigated by the FBI, I don't want to do it again. When she told me that, I was like, oh my god, who would have done that? I was so embarrassed by it. And then I eventually told her, I was like, yeah, no, that was because of me, because my parents saw that he was texting me and was like, what the fuck? And she was like, no, I don't blame them. Yeah, so he was investigated by the FBI. He, she, whoever it was, I have no idea. They were investigated by the FBI, and so was I. And it was traumatizing, and I've never done anything bad ever since. People are always like, oh, what was like your crazy like high school teenage experience? When I was 13, I was investigated by the FBI. I've never done anything bad after that to lose my parents' trust ever, because it was terrifying. Like, they went to the fucking FBI because I was texting a fucking guy. So that is my story about the time I was investigated by the FBI at the age of 13. It literally blows my mind that it happened. I still can't believe that it happened to me. You know, it happened. I'm kind of glad it happened. Who knows what could have happened or whatever. It really taught me a lesson and it opened my eyes, and hopefully it opened your eyes too. Make sure your kids aren't texting weird people from the internet. I mean, if you have kids. If not, don't text weird people from the internet and be safe. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, thumbs up, go ahead and subscribe, and if you want more story times, let me know, because I kind of have quite a few and I would love to share them. Thank you for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.